Welcome, everybody, to the It's Never Too Late show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a life and love transformational coach at Your Next Amazing Story. Today, we have a very special guest, Catt Z, and she's a cosmic smash book guide. And today, we're talking about it's never too late to heal and recover from abandonment. So, welcome, Catt. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, I am so excited. This is one of my favorite subjects.
I know. And I know every woman out there is going, I get the abandonment part and how you're going to help me heal from that, but what is cosmic smash booking? So can you share with the ladies what that actually is?
Sure. Cosmic Smash Booking is a mashup between art journaling and intentional creativity. And you basically you make a book from an inexpensive notebook, and you bring in all of your senses into that book. You bring through the process that I've created, and you bring in all of your senses so that the book really becomes you. And then what you do through the creative process is you bring in and hear and listen and find your own internal wisdom about anything.
So is it drawing and painting or like cutting out images from magazines and putting, or is it all of that?
It's exactly, it's all of that. And one page could be all of that, could be some of that, because what happens is when you make the connection to your own internal self, it starts to direct you to what needs to be done next. So this isn't an art. You don't need to be an artist to do this. This is not an art project. It is not art therapy. So that's part of learning your own internal wisdom. For instance, you can open a page. Let's talk about abandonment. So you create a page about abandonment. The way you would do that is you start to write on one of the pages after you make a book. And the abandonment could sound like this, because it's the one place you can show up where you could absolutely be honest about it in your own language, not have it correct, and really lay it out there about abandonment as an example. So it could sound like, I cannot believe this has happened to me again. I cannot, and you can swear and you can cry in it and do whatever you need to do. Then, when you're done, you end it with a prayer. Please show me, tell me, heal me, inform me, instruct me, guide me, and anything else you think you might need. Then we cover that up so no one ever sees what you wrote. This is where the beauty is. No one ever sees what you write. And then we cover it with color, and that color starts to shift and move the energy. And then you wait, because now you're living in what I call the prayer. You're now living in that query of show me, tell me, heal me. And you start paying attention to what shows up for you, whether it's biblical scripture, Chinese cookies, somebody saying something to you, a newspaper article, something that's on your desk, because everything is trying to inform you all the time. And this container gives you a place where you can bring that in and get the information that your spiritual connection, whatever it is, has been trying to get through to you.
So now, when you say cosmic smash booking, and you talked about creating this page in this book about what abandonment means for you, or how you were hurt from it in the past, can it be more than one page? Because the book that you just held up had a lot of pages in it. So what if a woman feels like, well, it's not just one page to me. I've been dealing with this my whole life.
So then you create a book.
A whole book.
And you create a whole book. And the intention of the entire book is so the book that I'm holding up right now is a book that I created, and it's called Born This Way. And on the front of it is a picture of a woman with an alien-looking woman and a child, and a small child. And it's called Born This Way. And this one was, this one here was claiming, who I am. But let's say that it was about abandonment. And so the intention of abandonment, intention of this book would be to heal from abandonment. So you would start with, and I'm opening up some pages here, and that you can see that they're not pretty. They become pretty, but we give up. There are, I digress for a moment. There are 4 rules to cosmic smash booking. The first rule is there is no rule. The second rule is don't stop. The third rule is, and the kids remind me of this one, have fun. And the fourth rule is, when in doubt, check the first rule.
I love that.
So you just get started. You just go ahead and get started with whatever shows up. A page that I'm showing right now has a picture of a very ugly face with big teeth and so on. And this page was about embracing my ugly. And so there are days when you're feeling ugly. So for abandonment, as an example, you would start out with the intention in the book to heal your abandonment issues. And every page, so one page could be many times we're dealing with the most current abandonment issue. So you would start with your most current abandonment issue and you'd write about that. And you might get some relief about it. But however, in doing that, because I asked, show me, tell me, heal me, inform me, in your own wisdom, it may come up and it will come up and give you another query. That query could be, you're not asking the right question, and it gives you the question. It could be that you're not digging deep enough, and you need to, dig deeper into it. So your next page would be, what the heck is it talking about? Dig deeper. I'm digging as deep as I know how to do right now. This is really unfair, and it's always unfair. This stuff is always, you get to rant like that. Please show me, tell me, heal me. Move into the page. And when healing comes up from that page, your next page could be gratitude. So it's not always about angst, about gratitude. It may be the next page, maybe after that, with that abandonment, becomes clear that there's something you need to shift. And so maybe one of the things you need to shift is how you show up in the world. And you maybe, like I learned recently, need to drop the sarcasm. So a page on sarcasm, like, what are they talking about? I don't even know I think I know what it means, but I'm not entirely sure what sarcasm means. I think I'm pretty funny. And so I would just, rant about that. Please show me, tell me, heal me. Sure enough, later that day, somebody sends me a little video out of nowhere on sarcasm. They don't even know because they think it's funny. I get to see the difference between sarcasm and humor. And so anything can happen once you open the portal. So a book is a portal to your own internal information. The pages become a drill down in the portal. It become portal pages for a drill down. One of the pages that's really strong is a resting page. So example, abandonment. You're talking to the person or you're feeling the emotion that abandonment brings up for you in the morning. This is an example. In the morning, you have to go to work, take the kids to work. You've got to show up at the attorney, whatever it is. And you don't want to take that emotion that's been triggered to the street to drive your car. So you don't yell at the clerk. So you don't, so you could be present to the attorney. So you could be, whatever. And so a resting page allows you to rest that emotion, to be able to go out and do what you need to do. And maybe when you come back, it may be over. You may need to come back and then move on to another page. So a resting page allows you to rest the emotion, set it aside while you go about and do your day, as an example.
So, Catt, what I'm hearing you say also, like, I got a visualization when you were talking about this, about putting it on a page. I almost see like you're putting it into a room and so that you could leave it there, that you don't have to bring it with you in your everyday life so that it negatively affects your everyday life. Is that correct?
That's correct for a resting page.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct for a resting page. Putting it in a room, putting it in a kennel. You can still see it, you can still see it, you can still touch it. And you're not, that's exact. And as you go about your day, the other thing that happens as you go about your day, you still may get information about that thing that you rested. So when you come back, it will have shifted, and sometimes it will shift to where I've got to go in there and do that, because it's not denial. It's not
Pushing it away.
get away.
Right. So
It's
now
taking.
you called it a resting page, right? Now, are there different types of pages in a cosmic smash book?
Yes, there certainly can be. So, for instance, some of the pages that you might do are um, what I call an in and out page, in and out, or it could be an out and in, but it works like this. Maybe I'm holding on to my abandonment issues because I get energy behind it. I get juice behind it. I get something from being mad or angry or whatever the emotion is. But I know it's costing me something, but it's not exactly clear. So as an example, so let's say that were true. So my first I would write, just as I said, cover it and put a color. And then my query on that first layer would be, what's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And the layer on the top. So what's in it for me to do this? The next layer on top of that is, what is it going to take me to shift that? Then it might be, what would life look like if I really gave this up? And that might be, I mean, I can even feel that way. And so, because the next question is, how do you know when a page is done?
Right.
And a page, when things start to happen that want to activate the page. So for some of us, it's glitter, neon paint, sparkly, things that the little kid in you really wants to have. When those things start to show up, typically that's an activation page. You know that it's starting to get activated for you. You can feel it in your DNA. Even when I just said it right now, I could feel that in myself, my body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so how can this truly help women let go of the abandonment so that they can move forward in finding love again?
Okay. So, So talk therapy is terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And let me just clarify, when you say talk therapy, are you talking about going to see a therapist?
yes.
Okay.
So, yes. So when you go to a therapist and you share and you learn and so on, what this adds to it, if you're doing that, what this adds to it is it brings an image. So it brings whatever it is that you're dealing with from all back in here, and I'm pointing to the back of my head, to the frontal lobe, and you get an image. And we are about image, and we are about something. So how that helps is that it changes. You see something. You've brought it forth before your eyes. It no longer exists out there. It no longer exists just in your heart. It's out here, in the world. So my story, and after 34 years of marriage, my husband wanted to change the rules, and I thought three things when that happened. One was, oh my God, this is going to hurt. Number two was, I guess I'm going to get to see if cosmic smash booking really works.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what the third one is now. And I can attest that it does work, that it does bring restoration. It does bring, and for me, this isn't answering your question, and for me, I had a part in that. So my work showed me my part, because that's all I can control, showed me my part in this so I could address it and change it. Sarcasm is an example.
Mm-hmm.
And change that and bring restoration in my life so that I don't repeat it in future relationships. And does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. But I would love for you to clarify more on something you just touched upon that I would love to go deeper on, because I think it's something that women, actually not just women, but that's who my audience is, really need to understand better. Is you talked about how in your past marriage is that he wanted to change rules, And while you could have easily, Kat, gone, it's him, it's his fault, he
Right.
changed things, but
Right.
you had mentioned that about the part that you could control, about the taking responsibility for your actions. So can you
Right.
speak further into that? Because I think this is a point that so many people really need to get, that, it's never 100% one person's fault, because
Right.
you are an active participant in this relationship or marriage. And so you get to take responsibility for your part. So can you tell the
Right.
ladies more about that and what that truly
Right.
means?
Right. And you reminded me of the third thing. And the third thing I said was, oh, hell no. This is not taking me out. Oh, no. Uh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the work in smash booking, and Born This Way and all of the other books that I did, showed me my part, because I'm not a victim. I had a hand in this, and I can't, and I'm not, I had a hand in this. What was my hand in this took me out of victim, because that, oh, hell no, was me saying, I am not going down victim. Mm-mm. And to say, oh, no, I'm not going down victim, required me to look at my part and say, oh, and even now I still say, ouch, oh, ow. No wonder I would have acted that same way too, which doesn't minimize, which does not minimize his part or how he ended it or rules. It doesn't minimize any of that. However, it does get me out of victim and hold me responsible so I can change.
So, Kat, can you explain to the ladies why not stepping into victim mode is so very key in the healing and moving on process?
Okay, so I had a relationship with my dad where I kept putting myself in the position of victim. And so therefore I did not grow. I mean, I made a choice from day 2, because day 1 was pretty brutal. From day 2, I immediately went into forgiveness. Immediately, even
Are
though
you
I
talking about with your ex-husband or
with
your
my husband,
Okay.
because the experience of my dad that I had held on to for so long, and I had discovered it was running my story, and I'd been doing a lot of work about that. And I said, and so when I said, oh, hell no, this is going to take me out, this is not going to take me out, it was, I'm not going to allow this to be my story. I do not want to be the woman, oh, there goes Catt Z, her husband left her and she's never been the same. I want to be, oh, there goes Catt Z, and my God, her life has never been the same. I
And
want to be
it's
that.
amazing. It's even better than before.
It's better than before. Let me tell you how much better. That's Catt Z. Catt Z, that's who I want to be. So the forgiveness started immediately, because I did not want that, oh, poor her, 34 years, her husband left her, she made choices, she chose not to have family, now there's no grand. I mean, I can go on about, oh, and people would say, oh, that's really, oh, yeah, it's okay, you deserve to feel like that 4 years later.
Right.
No, I want to be the woman 4 years later sitting in the home that she bought for herself as a result of making these other choices. I want to be that woman who's having golf cart envy because, I want to be that woman.
Right. Because it's, you bring up a really great point, Kat, is had you gone into victim mode and then, everybody's going, oh, poor Kat, her husband left her 4 years later, it's important for women to realize that 4 years later, the person that's really hurting you, if you stayed there, would have been yourself. It wouldn't have been your ex-husband, because he's long gone and he's moved on with his life. And so, like, I envision it almost like, if you're still allowing him or his actions to affect you and he's been out of your life for years, is you've been holding yourself in that prison. He hasn't, right?
Exactly. And you bring up something else too, which is, okay, when we're recreating our life after abandonment, for some of us that means divorce.
Right.
I could still be in a divorce now. This was he was an attorney. He could do a lot of things to me that wouldn't cost him any money, would cost me money. I had some savings put aside. If I had chosen to stay victim, if I had chosen to stay to stay in victim, then I would not, my savings would be gone. I would have done very violent things. I know me. I know me. I had a vision of me. She was a preschool teacher. I had visions of me holding a picket sign, picketing the front of her school saying, would you trust this woman with your children while she's, sleeping with my husband? I mean, I could be, if I had chosen to stay in victim, if I had chosen not to do those things, I'd still be there.
Right.
Instead of sitting in my cute little home, worrying
Which I just have to add, ladies, because people don't know this, Catt just bought a new home and she's living in her new home. She's in a new place. It's amazing. And she's so excited. So you're in a different place in your life. And
it's important to mention I'm 69 because
you look fabulous.
Thank you. And the reason why it's important is because if I can do it, you can do it. That's the point. It's like if you're younger saying, I can't do that because it's like, no. It is possible for all of us because and the other thing is you'll hear people say, as you start to move into restoration out of abandonment, there's people who want to keep you where you're at because there's something in it for them. This is another big one to watch. And they like to be able to say to you, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And they'll say that to you for 3 years. And the importance of this, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. The importance of that is what smash booking does for you is help you get your own internal wisdom about something. Like, oh, you're too old to buy a house. People your age shouldn't be buying houses. Blah, blah. You shouldn't be buying a house because, and they give you all of these reasons. And when I smash on it, my own internal wisdom, which of course is a combination, is your spiritual connection, said, what? And told me exactly what to look for. Told me exactly what to do. I did exactly what I was told, and here I am. And on the days when I think, oh my God, what the heck did I do? I'm human. I can take that to a resting page in my smash book and be reminded by my spiritual connection that all is good.
Awesome. So, Catt, I know every woman out there is wondering about the process in going through the divorce with your ex-husband and to where you're at today and using the cosmic smash booking process to help you get there. Like, what does that timeline look like? Is it a year? Is it 2 months? Is it a day? What is it?
It's an everyday process. And in the beginning, it is extremely painful. You don't think you're ever going to stop hurting. And so in each step of the process, my early pages are full of just grief and sadness and figuring out how to new things like pay bills or deal with the DMV or, the little things of life that you haven't dealt with. And, if you have children, like where do you go when you're dealing with kids and all of that? So it's constant and you're just dealing with something different. So my early days, grief started to shift. Eventually one morning I woke up and I didn't hurt. And then pretty soon there were more days. Then things started to happen because I lived under the same roof with him for 2 years. So for 2 years I needed to navigate because I didn't have an exit strategy. So that allowed me to create the exit strategy, live under the same, because many people are living like this.
Right.
And figure your way through that emotionally because at that point, really healing isn't happening. There's some healing, but the healing doesn't really happen until another thing. And so then the next 2 years became about healing and, growing. And so I'm constantly smash booking. Today, my smash booking is about learning new things about myself that I don't like, being sarcastic. What? Me sarcastic? Yes. And how that feels when you're sarcastic to someone. So I'm using that one as an example.
Mm-hmm. So it really just depends on where you're at in life and where you really need that support. So now, Catt, this is obviously a new term to people as cosmic smash booking. And I can hear a lot of women saying, okay, I get it now, what it does, but I don't really know how to do that on my own. So, Catt, how do I do that?
So, my website, and also, and it's very, very experiential. Mm-hmm. So, my website has videos on it to look and see what they look like and a little bit more about that. My website also has a free gift on a resting page. And then if they would like, I have free classes that one called Kick to the Curb, but the place to start is go to my website, start with the resting page, and from there, let me know if you'd like Kick to the Curb. And then that shows you how to do a book, pages, lead you through, bring you into community, and to start addressing these issues.
Awesome. So, Catt, can you tell the ladies the name of your site?
www.cosmicsmashbooking.com.
Awesome, ladies. So, ladies, if you really want to find out more about it and how this can truly help you, go to Catt's website. So, thanks everybody for joining us on the It's Never Too Late show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to get the show, you can go to yournextamazingstory.com. And if you would like to get our free ebook, How to Create Your Next Amazing Love Story in 3 Simple Steps, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to yournextamazingstory.com.